Yeah, hi there. Thanks for your introduction. So let us start our interview preparation session. So we'll conduct this type of the sessions in the upcoming also. So the motive of the session is, so as a .NET full stack developer or a .NET developer, we are working in a .NET web APIs or some concept. So our work can be the limited. Am I correct? But if you're going for an interviewer expecting a different questions. He can go to like SQL, he can go entity framework, design patterns, system design. For example, you are working in a so and so MNC company support project, you are not able to answer like product related questions. It's not about you are not answering. The thing was you didn't get a exposure or opportunity to work. Okay. So in this discussion, sir, we'll cover up those things, how to answer. Also, I come up with a few of the interview questions, so that we'll discuss it. So before going to be start, I'm going to be say like, interview is not about answer a question. Remember this one. Interview is about to showcase your experience. So Tej also said same, right? For example, you are giving answer theoretically. It's not about a one mark question to judge you. For example, out of 10 members interview for one position, nowadays, 9 members are using the chat GPT, giving the same answer. Earlier, everybody using like a Google, right? Five to uh, 3 to 4 different links. You are going there and you are getting the answers. You are giving the different answer, different example. But nowadays, everybody going using the chat GPT. With this one, we are getting the same type of answer, but we are not able to select you because everybody is giving the same answer. But answer is not required. You should give like something definition, syntax example. So whenever you are in the interview process, right, follow this one. Definition is required, syntax is required, and a real-time example. Real-time example means, for example, your project is related to a healthcare. Don't give example from a order system product or e-commerce. So it can understand very easily. So nowadays the filtering is happening, right? So earlier we are getting the 7 interviews. Out of 7 interviews, 5 interviews we are practicing answering a questions. There you are getting experience. In the next sixth or seventh interview, you are getting an opportunity and you are shifting to a company. But that is not a situation currently. If you take out of 10 members, 5 to 6 members are on the bench or out of the company. They are still looking and struggling. They are preparing somewhere else. Okay, so I can guide you the preparation with my 13 years of experience. So how to start your preparation. So the approaches. So before going to be start, I just come up with some questions. Everybody attending the interview, right? Can you please unmute yourself and answer so that we'll correct. So the first question is a boxing and unboxing. What is a boxing and unboxing? Yeah.
Conversion of value type to reference type is called boxing,
Okay.
and reverse is called unboxing.
Okay. So where we are using in the real time, what is the use of this concept?
Value type to reference type means integer to string conversion
So into
and
object, object to into. That is correct.
object. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So out of 10 members, 10 members can give the same answer. Correct, team? But in this 10 members, whom I need to be select? That is a question. Am I correct? So can you give me something else? Yeah, Ramya.
So boxing means a value type converts to the object, and unboxing means object type converts to the
Yeah.
value type. She said
So
implement conversion and explicitly conversion of the value, right? Different. Mm.
okay, that's fine. Answer here it is you are converting into to object and object to int. That's it, correct? But with our experience, where we have seen this boxing and unboxing, any real-time example?
For example, in a report generation,
Hmm.
everything in a string value type, that time we are using boxing. Converts
Okay.
the any type of value into string type.
Any type to a string. Any type
Yes, sir.
means other types are int, float to double. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Or
Yes, sir.
boolean. But remember this point, your answer is correct, but interviewer will not give any feedback. Let me give you the feedback. Int, float, boolean, all these are same data type. I mean to say like a value type. Okay, but here boxing will not happen. Here boxing will not happen. So let me tell you the behind the boxing, we are having the two types of memory. Okay, your computer having right RAM memory. RAM having the two types of memory. One is the stack memory, second one is the heap memory. Stack memory means if you are storing any value, it is having a certain data type. For example, int so and so data. Okay, so those will be stored in the stack. The amount of the items, so which will be stored in the heap memory, that is called reference type. Okay, so this is my stack memory. So this is my heap memory. So you are moving the object from a heap memory to stack memory is called object to a int is called unboxing. Box in the sense stack to heap is called box. Okay, so simply you are moving from here to there. But in the real time, where we can see this stack memory, I mean boxing or unboxing concept. Do you know array list? Array list. Yeah, everyone, please unmute yourself. I will make it as interactable things. So I'm just opening the fiddler. So in the interview, you can ask like open the fiddler and answer. So do you know array list? So
It
using
supports multiple data types.
system dot using system dot collections. Array list arr list is equal to new array list. Okay. So yeah, array list dot add. Can I add a number? Yes. So if anybody asking the unboxing boxing real-time example, collections follows the boxing and unboxing concept, not a generics. Okay. So error list. Did you got the real-time point? And like let me say Krishna. So array list allowing the number, array list allowing the string, array list allowing anything object also. So array list follows the concept of boxing and unboxing. That is a real-time example you need to be given. Okay. So how to overcome the boxing and unboxing? So your answer should be cover things. Remember definition, syntax, example, how to overcome also as a real time. Even you have the 2 years of experience also, companies are expecting, interviews are expecting. But how I can able to know in the Google if I'm not typing, if I'm typing something boxing and unboxing, I'm getting only the simple answer. But in the real time, is not answering means that is the reason we have the group, right? You can able to chat there. There you have directly my number also you can able to ping me. Something else I can guide you. Okay. So how to overcome this one? We're having the generic collections. But remember, generic collections are not only for overcoming the problem of boxing and unboxing. Is that a problem? Is the boxing and unboxing is problem? Yes, it is a problem because you are having the two different type of memories. You are converting here to there to here. Okay. For example, you are sitting in a chair and working is you can focusly work, but you are moving this chair here to there to here means it was a burden, right? In the operating system also it will be burden. Okay. So if I
Okay.
go for
One more thing I want to add, Krishna.
yeah,
I
please go
think
ahead.
this we can compare with the string and string builder as
Mm-hmm.
in terms of memory allocation, right? As
Mm-hmm.
in, it will create every time a new memory, right? To
Mm-hmm.
allocate or doing any memory like a string concatenation and all kind of things. While in string builder, it will not allocate a new memory. So this is the same like a concept we are using over here.
Yes. Same. There also stack and heap memory will be involved. So I'm using the list. It will be shown. Error is not going immediately. So while you are practicing, right, try to practice interviews or expecting the questions here only. No? You need to be show something. For example, if I go for a list dot add of Krishna, is it possible? No, it will never allow because this is strongly typed. These are the typed collections. So generics means not only solving that problem, this problem also solved. Okay, you got it right. So next one is, can someone talk about .NET REST architecture? What is mean by REST architecture? I think somebody told like worked on the API side. Yeah. So before going to be the next question, I'm having a one question. By seeing these questions, are you feeling like these are the different type of a questions or related to the same concept? For example, boxing unbox, you are thinking like something else. Architecture, deferred execution in the link you are thinking something else. Next one is the web API, REST services and microservices difference. REST principles, repository pattern, put versus post. So how to scale an API? What is a race condition? SQL transaction, atomic SQL update, RabbitMQ. By saying this one, once you have completed the end of the interview, you are feeling like these are the different type of the concept they have asked you. Am I correct? But let me tell you, these all are related to only one concept. Okay. So you are practicing like, for example, before the interview, you are taking like 100 questions and practicing. Please don't go like that one. You must be practice like take an example and complete it. So whatever the questions, 12 questions are here, right? One simple example. For example, all these questions work for only one business loss. So what was the business? Let me tell you, I have the only one product left in the Amazon. Okay. So user A is trying to, for example, Pavan is trying to purchase that product. Ravi also trying to purchase the product. Now tell me, both requests are went same time. So which will execute? So Pavan is one will execute, Ravi will execute, both will execute. But I have only one product. Yeah, please unmute everyone. And
Based on their network speed.
both have the super speed. Both sit together only. Any thoughts, Tej?
I think it will like go in a queue manner.
Okay.
Queue manner in
So
this,
yeah. Okay.
like anybody is speaking, they can go ahead if they want.
Any other thoughts, team? I have only one product. Two users or 10 users are purchasing. So, for example, let it take us. I have the five products. 100 members are purchasing. Then, how your system should design? So, these 12 questions are targeting for a same problem. Okay. For example, in your application, you are adding the e-commerce application. Definitely, these 12 questions are nowadays asking. But we are thinking like these are from the different topics they are asking. One is from the what we are thinking like this is from the messaging queue, this is from the SQL, this is from the .NET, this is from like API point of view, this is from the action method point of view, this is from the design pattern point of view, this is from the uh, same API point of view, C# linky point of view, architecture point of view. Am I correct? Are we thinking in the same manner? Correct? Huh? Or my assumption is wrong? Okay. So, but the thing was simple. So, see here, all these concepts are related to the only one thing. For example, if the question is, I have the two products, so one product only needs to be, only is there. What you need to be answer, right? In general, first answer is, can we use the SQL transactions? In the SQL transactions, we can log the table, correct? In the SQL transactions, we can able to lock the product and then we can purchase. Only one can execute, second will fail.
That's right.
Anybody? Vote yourself. So same question, next interview will ask, okay, boss, you're telling about the one SQL server, you can able to lock it, but once you are logged in the SQL, it will be the more costlier. For example, somebody trying to read the product, your SQL is locked, the API is not able to get the data. It is on the UI, it is showing like continuously loading. Is that my question is correct way, Teja? Did you get it? So here we are thinking like, can we use the SQL transactions? We can lock the table. Once you are locking the table, right? Some other APIs are trying to read the same table data, even though not the same column, different columns. Again, it got blocked. So UI will be show like continuously running. So you should not block in the database level, but where you need to be blocked? That is the next question.
It will block the update.
Hmm. For
Like
example, you are reading the data without using the lock, LOCK lock, select star from the table name lock. If you are not using, for example, some table got locked in. So how to read the data? Still table is locked. Also, we can read select star from table by saying about no lock. You can read the data. Am I correct? Okay. But if you are using the no lock, right, still you will get like one product is available. And at top of the lock database table also we can read the data, but still it is giving the wrong data. So that is the reason we need to be used like a distributed lock. You need to use like a distributed lock, that is called a radius distributed lock, not on the database side. Still in the database, we need to use the transactions, but that lock should happen in the radius distribution lock. Okay, we are getting a confusion, right? Let me clarify you. For example, I have the multiple users, user A and user B, trying to purchase the laptop. Where this request will be go? API gateway. So here, what are the questions will come? What is the difference between the put and post? Put means update the data. Post means it's a completely new request. Okay, from the API gateway, it is going to the request will be go for the order API. So the interviewer will ask a question like, what is the API gateway? Anybody can answer what is the API gateway?
Identify the controller and method names, sir.
Okay. So let me tell you the answer. Yeah, your answer is correct, but API gateway have the different type of the responsibilities it can do. So what type of the responsibility, right? In the API gateway level, you can able to authenticate the user. Rate limit in the sense number of requests. For example, I'm using only one computer, 10 members are working. Okay, same like one computer, 10 requests can handle. But Amazon website having the lakhs of requests. So my system, this is my system, can able to handle all the business logic? No. That is the reason
No.
API gateway we can able to use by using a rate limit. This rate limit, it can limit the number of users. So, and it will be sent to a other system. So other system in the sense, my logic is here what I need to write. You know, you don't worry. Cloud, we are having the cloud, right? Azure, AWS, we can host in a one application, we can host a number of times. You can say like a number of instances. So it will be navigate to that instance. Again, that instance will be connected to your distributed lock and then to a database. Database is only one. Okay. For example, if you see the red bus, you know the red bus, Abhi bus. In the red bus, same bus you can see. In the Abhi bus also same bus you can see. But interfaces are different. UI will be different, but backend database is the same. Remember that point. Okay. So what is the rate limit? Answer is the rate limit will limit the number of requests going to a system. If I have the 10,000 users, for my instance, if I keep for a 5,000, it will go to the 5,000 requests. Remaining requests go to the another instance, that another instance will call your database. Okay. Next, request validation. Okay, do you know hacking or request is properly coming or not? Lot of things, right? That will be handled here. Next one is the load balancing. So it can able to load the balance also. Everybody is clear? API gateway answer. Authentication, rate limit, request validation, load balancing. Only these four? No, something else also it will do. But at a time we can't able to remember everything, right? I'm just giving the few things. Okay. So these type of the questions will be come in the API gateway. Now the question is, so can I build this API gateway in the .NET Java or PHP or something else? API gateway you can able to build anything. Nowadays you are following like a distributed system, distributed architecture, which means you can use any type of language. For example, I have the two microservices. One microservice in Java, one microservice in .NET, it's possible. Okay, API gateway you can able to build in any language. That is not a problem. The API gateway responsibility is this one. Okay. Any questions on this API gateway? Hope everybody is clear.
Understand.
Clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So next one is API. Correct? The next question will be coming from the API. In this API, I'm having a question. Somebody told, right, working on the API. Is it Ravi?
Shankar.
Shankar. Yeah, Shankar. Now tell me, what if I hearing on the API, what is the web API? What is the RESTful API? What is the microservice?
Web APIs means దేనికైనా వాడుకోవచ్చు సార్. వెబ్ APIs ఐ థింక్ మీరు అన్నట్టు జావా మైక్రో సర్వీసెస్ లో ఏమైనా దేనికైనా ఇచ్చుకోవచ్చు సార్. లైక్
But why we're having different type of APIs? Microservice itself API, correct? Web
Yes,
API
sir.
also API. RESTful also API.
Yes, sir.
Correct? Three type of API. Now,
Yes.
any others? Yeah, Shankar.
కరెక్ట్ గా ఎక్స్ప్లోర్ చేయడం రావట్లేదు సార్ నాకు.
Oh, okay, okay. Don't worry. That is the reason I can help you. Yeah, Akhil, you want to answer?
బేస్డ్ ఆన్ పర్పస్ ని బట్టి మనం ఏపీఎస్ యూస్ చేస్తాం.
What type of purpose you mean?
లైక్ ఇన్ కేస్ బ్యాంకింగ్ సెక్టర్స్ కొంచెం సెక్యూర్ గా ఉండాలంటే సోప్ ఏపీఎస్ యూస్ చేస్తాం. అండ్ ఇన్ కేస్ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్స్ అటువంటివి ఇన్ కేస్ బ్యాంక్ సర్వీస్ లో రిమైనింగ్ ఉంటాయి కదా, ఇన్ కేస్ సైన్ అప్ వీటికి నార్మల్ ఇండివిజువల్ గా ఉంటాయి కాబట్టి రెస్ట్ ఏపీఎస్ యూస్ చేస్తాం.
Okay. So you are saying about SOAP API is more secure, web API are not secure. But if it is not secure, then why companies are using them?
నాట్ మీన్స్ అంటే రెస్ట్ ఏపీఎస్ కన్నా సోప్ ఏపీఎస్ కొంచెం సెక్యూర్ గా ఉంటాయి. అంటే ఇట్ ఈస్
So
బండిల్
let
ఆఫ్
me tell you, there is evaluation of APIs are coming. Earlier we were using the WCF services. Okay, these WCF services or WPF services will never call directly from the UI. All the business logic in the WCF service. Okay, so the WCF service will be called the .NET, and on top of the WCF service, we are having the SOAP. Okay, once that SOAP is coming to the market, right, we can call that SOAP API from the other API or UI also. Later, we are having the REST API, we are having the Web API microservice. Okay, any other answers, team? Yeah, share your opinion. We can correct ourselves. Okay. So what is a web API, right? For example, a person join in a hospital. What doctor will call that person? Patient. Correct?
Yes.
Just example I'm taking. A person join in a hospital. We can call, right, a person, but a doctor will call as a patient. So in terms of UI point of view, something it is calling the back end, that is called a web API. What is the full form of API? Application Programming Interface. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
API means UI point of view calling something which is hosted in a server is called a web API. Okay, so UI point of view, it is called a web API. Next, REST API. REST means it is an architecture. It is providing the 6 different principles. If you are building an something which is following that 6 principles is called REST API. Okay, in terms of the UI, it is a web API. So the API which is building on the top of a 6 principles are called REST API. And splitting this API into the small pieces is called a microservice. The microservice can be, remember, an API or Windows service or something else also. A microservice means a small amount of service. For example, order service is a one microservice. Payment service can be a one microservice. Got it? Okay. So user information can be a one service. Okay. If this microservice following again this 6 principles is called REST API. So REST API means what is the full form of the REST? Representation of
Stateless transfer.
stateless transfer. Correct. So one API is only the word. Remember API. The API means if you are building an API, follows the 6 principles are called REST. What are those 6 principles? We'll discuss. This
You get
API
to
you are
put-
calling from the UI. In the UI point of view, Angular or React people will calling that API. They will call as a web API. Web means in the browser they can able to see that API data. Correct? Once you are giving the API, they can able to call from the browser. That is the reason it is called a web. Web means this one. Through internet, you are calling the some application programming interface. Okay. So you are more clear now? You are clear,
Yes,
Shankar?
sir. Yes.
Shankar, are you clear?
Yes, sir. I got it,
Oh,
sir.
okay, okay. Thank you. Thanks for everybody's response. So we are clearing the what is the API. We'll discuss the 6 principles. So next one is the REST API is called. This what this REST API will do, right? It will send to a request to a distributed log. This distributed log will get the data from here, how many products are available. It is saying about only one product is available. That product will be locked. If second user send a request from a different system to this distributed system, it is saying already it is locked. Already it is locked, don't go to the SQL. So your SQL burden will be very low. Okay. So that is the reason. Don't burden the SQL because SQL is the end source. Ultimately, as end source, every request will come and go. So it will be saying about immediately it was locked. It will be saying like no products are available or something. It will be show out of stock immediately. So that is the reason we're having the distributed log. For example, purchasing of SQL can be easy, but managing and maintaining the data store is the difficult. So that is the reason we're having a separate different store. This store will be managed. Okay, and then the request will go to the SQL and come in. Okay, so once order is confirmed, it will be go for messaging, right? Immediately you will get a mobile message. Somebody unmuted yourself. Let me mute you. Yeah. So again, you will get a immediately message, right? Order got successfully something else. So that will be go for a different store. Not only the mobile message. So you are going to be get the message on your website also. So this is the what the system will be designed. Okay. So notification service, billing service, shipping service, immediately it will be go. Shipping means you don't worry. So shipping means again third party shippers are there, right? So once you have placed the order, Amazon will deliver you or third party system will deliver. Third party will deliver. Again in the third party, multiple delivery partners are there. For example, in the Zomato, you are ordering a product, you are ordering pizza from a specific restaurant. But in case of this shipping, right, Amazon will see about the size of the item, weight of the item. Accordingly, it will deliver to you by connecting the different partner. Who will do that one? Your API will do. No, your API will never do because your API's responsibility is different. That is done by using a different system. That is called a queue and messaging technique. This queue and messaging can be handled from your Azure. It can be handled from the AWS, the cloud. So what is the benefit of queue, right? Once it is into the queue, it will never fail. Okay. Next, we'll discuss about what are the 6 principles. Can you talk about the 6 principles? What was the first principle, team? Yeah, if anybody know, just unmute yourself. Right or wrong, that is fine. We'll discuss. What was the first principle of REST principles? So representational, stateless, transfer. Stateless means it should not know about the request. So what was the second principle? Everybody's so silent.
The caching also is there.
Caching. What was the next principle?
Validate DTO.
Validate the DTO. Okay.
Interface is also there in that, I think.
Okay. So we can say in a correct interview point of view, client, server, independent. What is mean by client server independent? For example, a client can in the Angular, web API can in a .NET Java. Nowadays, correct? So which are
Yes.
independent or not? So first
In
principle was satisfied. Second principle, stateless. What is mean by stateless? So your server should not have the information about the client, which means a request. Let me say like this one. So you're having the request, right? Get, post, put, delete, lot of requests are right. It should don't have the that such information. What it will only have?
Request information.
Okay, only
Verify
just a request will be go and response it will be give. That's it. Next one is cacheable. What is mean by cache? Sometimes a request is coming, response is giving, right? Somewhere you need to be cache the data. What type of cache? For example, here in the Redis cache, I can hold what was the data. Can I hold the user data? Every time request is coming, token is coming, and again, if I'm validating the token for each and every request, it will be little burden, right? Can I cache that user data for that session? Can I cache some master data? Yes, it can be cacheable. What was the next one is uniform transfer. What is mean by uniform transfer? Sorry, uniform, not transfer, interface. Yeah. What means by uniform interface? For example, you are having the REST will expose an API, correct? Get data, correct? Save data, correct? Update data. Next one is delete data.
delete patch also there.
Okay, patch data. So this is not called uniform. So if you are designing a web API like this is not your REST API.
Yes.
Okay, in the interview, somebody asking like, can you give me the REST API names? Means get data, save data, update data, delete data. If they're asking is that naming is correct, you may say like, okay, get order data, save order data, update product data, delete again also wrong. It should be like, how it should be? Get API slash orders. Post means action method type. So you need to be decorate the action method on the top of your methods. So method name should be orders. Remember, orders slash one or something. Put. So your action method should be like API slash orders. Okay. Delete. What is mean by delete? API slash orders slash one. This is called uniformity. This is called uniformity. Uniform interface. Only orders. But your action method, you are decorating like a get, it will behave as a get, post, put, delete. The interview question, if they're asking what is the action methods, immediately we'll answer like get, post, put, delete are the action methods. Get means get the data. Post and put means for save and update the data. Delete for delete the data. That answer is wrong. So if anybody asking what is action method, action webs are action method. Action webs are decorate on the top of the action methods. It is one of the principle in the REST principle. For example, to maintain the uniform interface. To maintain the uniform interface, REST architecture proposing like get, post, put, delete action verbs on the top of a method. How many are clear with this answer? Can you say if?
Yes, clear.
So
Yes,
earlier your
clear.
answer is different. Am I correct? For a action verb. So you want me to tell again, right? So in general, what you will answer for this action verbs? The action verbs are decorate on the top of the action methods, which are get, post, put, delete. Correct? Huh? Out of 10 members, if you search in the Google, right, 10 answers are the same. In the GPT you are answering, but why other person need to select you? You need to be give the something different answer. So you need to be answer like action verbs are the part of the REST API architecture, which are decorate top of your action methods to perform a certain action to maintain the uniform interface. That is the reason we are having the action. Hope I'm giving the different answers, real-time answers. This session is helping.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Only 2-3 years, everyone.
Yes, Krishna, it is helping a lot.
Lot, huh? That is what I'm expecting. It should help a lot more than you. So recently we're watching the cricket, right? So everybody focusing on the IPL. This year nobody focusing on the IPL. But where they're focusing? I mean, whom they're focusing? Only one person called Vaibhav. Am I correct?
Vaibhav Suryavanshi.
Only Vaibhav.
Oh.
Even though I'm very, I didn't watch cricket. Very less, too less. Because somebody they're playing else something else, but I just watched watching the IPL because of the only person called Vaibhav. So while you're answering, like, let us do something. Out of 10 questions, give the 2 questions a different answer. Once you are giving the 2 question different answer, right? For example, once your interview is completed, after half an hour, for example, me and Vignesh is taking the interviews. Okay, we are in the interview panel. I am taking the interview of Harshit. So we are thinking like what Harshit is answering. So out of 10, you have answered only 5 questions. 2 questions you are giving the different answers, right? Then we will think like, okay, Harshit given a good answers. Okay, so it should be like, yeah, the answer should be like feels like a mind blowing. So that is my principle. While I go for an interview, right, with my experience, you need to give the 2 to 3 answer. They should be mind blowing. Even though out of 10 you are answering the out of 10 questions also, it is not a getting the job. You should be give like a mind blow answer. It should be target your real time. So you need to be teach to the interviewer also. That is the what you need to be. Okay. So that is the reason I'm giving the different answer. This is the way you need to be. So what is the next principle? So after this session, right, don't take the 100 questions. In the Insta also, I'm seeing nowadays the videos. I have the 1,000 questions to practice. 100 pamphlet book I will give you. You can enjoy. You can pay the 100 rupees or 200 rupees. Arey bas, questions we have it. That the thing was how you are connecting. Okay. What was the next principle?
In APIs, scalability and also
In APIs?
Scalability also is there.
Yeah.
Scalability,
Scalable. API should be scalable.
Secure and scalability also.
Well, under
Security.
It should be secure and
Like
scalable.
HTTPS like.
Next one is Code on demand. What is meant by code on demand?
Code optimization, I think.
No. Main principles are six, but it will follow the number of principles. Code on demand in the sense, can server send a JavaScript code to a client? Server sends a JavaScript code to client. Yes, if it is required. Okay. So if you are building at least top five principles, your API is a RESTful API. If you are building your API without five principles, that is called your API. For example, I am a Krishna. Krishna building an API without following these principles, and that is the Krishna API, something that can go into the dustbin. But still, okay, somewhere we are doing the check-ins, those things will be go, but while we are going for an interview, it should be answered. Out of this, how many questions we have discussed? Almost two. See, each point is a question. Can I say 20 questions we have discussed? These 20 questions, only one business logic is two users, one product. Correct? So take a one scenario. But where to take, I was getting a confusion means don't worry. Okay, in the group my number, you can ping me, can help. So in the again messaging queue, you have the RabbitMQ, all these things. So now are you clear about this one? So what is the race condition is nothing but in the distributed here. In the radius distributed lock, we are checking which, I mean, how many products are there. Race between the race in the sense, for example, two users are coming at a time and trying to get that product, that is called a race, technically we're calling. Okay, so some questions are asked in the initial. One question to answer, I forget, right? One second. One question, here only, right? What is the deferred execution in the LINQ? Anyone?
lazy loading.
Lazy loading. What is mean by lazy loading?
లేజీ లోడింగ్ అంటే లైక్ ఇన్ కేస్ ఏదైనా ఈ-కామర్స్ ఉందండి, ఇన్ కేస్ మనం ఏదైనా డ్రెస్ అని సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకుంటున్నాం, ఫిల్టర్ వాస్ బేస్డ్ ఆన్ అవర్ సైజ్, కలర్స్, డిఫరెంట్ ఫిల్టర్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా. ఆఫ్టర్ సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకున్న తర్వాతే అది ఫిల్టర్ అవుతుంది. ఇన్ కేస్ ఒక్కో ఫిల్టర్ ఇండివిజువల్ గా సెలెక్ట్ చేసిన ఫిల్టర్ అవ్వకుండా ఉండడానికి మనం డిఫరెంట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ యూస్ చేస్తాం.
Krishna will obey with you. Okay. But interviewer, you need to be work on that examples, whatever you are giving, right? Little work on those examples, give a correct. Okay, let me back to the question. Velocity in the Scrum is nothing but for example, velocity means I have the 2 weeks Scrum. 2 weeks Scrum, velocity is nothing but, for example, 10 employees are there. 10 employees are available, or anybody taking the holiday, or any holidays are there, national holidays or local holidays are there. So the availability count of employees versus the Jira. Okay, so Jira required how many pointers? Okay, 1 day Jira, 2 day Jira, 3 day Jira. I mean, not 1 day, 1, 3, 5, 7 or 13. That is the story point. Accordingly is available. We are going to be calculated. That is called the velocity in the Scrum. This is normal arithmetic. So without using arithmetic operator, how to divide the number to half? Okay, normal basic one. So how to decide your project design in the initial stage? This is from the Ramya, right? So Ramya, what was your answer at that time?
ఫస్ట్ నేను రిక్వైర్మెంట్ గ్యాదర్ చేయడం, ప్లానింగ్ చేయడం అని చెప్తే కాదని చెప్పింది సార్. ఆ తర్వాత డిజైన్ ప్యాటర్న్స్ కానీ, అంటే ఏదో ఒక డిజైన్ ప్యాటర్న్ సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకోవడము అంటే అది కూడా కాదని చెప్పింది సార్. ఈఎఫ్ అంటే డేటాబేస్ ఫస్ట్ అప్రోచ్ కానీ మైగ్రేషన్ కానీ చూస్ చేసుకుంటా అంటే అది కూడా కాదని చెప్పింది. ఇంకా వచ్చేసాను సార్.
ఓకే, So in the entire point of view, a person can have the different opinions. Okay. For example, for these 12 questions, I have shown one design pattern. What type of design pattern? Here you can see the REST architecture, correct? Repository pattern you can see. Clean architecture also you can see. So one can have the multiple solutions. So right solution we can't able to decide in a one time. But the thing was, while you are practicing, like take this type of a solutions. Okay, and practice. I mean, this type of question will we can able to answer it. So what was the initial design? For example, I want to build a e-commerce application. Can I gather the requirement means? See, I can't able to gather the requirement now itself. For example, I want to build like a billing system. Okay. Next, can I take the design pattern? No, design pattern is decided once we have the full requirement, or at least the suited requirement you are having. So you don't have the requirement, you'll say you can't able to take. Can I take a code approach or a database approach means you didn't start any design pattern. Without a design pattern, you can't able to take the, I mean, not only design pattern, you don't have any architecture, you can't able to take the code first or database first. So what to take? Any others means just to share your opinions. Teja, any opinion on this question? Any others team? Okay, so I can give you the answer, but it can suits or not. Okay, I mean, different people have the different opinions on one thing, right? For example, if requirement is coming to me, what I will do, right? I will never start the coding. So I should not think the coding because of the lead person. I should not think on the coding. Can I think on the UI? No. First, we need to be take the skeleton of what the expectation. For example, somebody telling like Vignesh is telling to me, Krishna, I want to uh, build a Amazon kind of website. First, I need to be take that skeleton. Next, further the skeleton, whatever the thought process in me, I can build that markups. Okay. Once the markups are ready, then I will go for the requirement. Once that requirement, if I got a clarity based on my skeleton and markups, then I will get the, I can start with the architecture. So in this architecture, I will choose the design pattern. As per this architecture and design pattern, then we need to be choose the code first or DB. This is building the API side. What about the UI? Based on your application, either we can go for Angular or React. For example, your application is a API friendly application, you can go with this one. But your application is most related to the front end, then we can go for Angular or React. Otherwise, we can simply go with the JavaScript. Okay, so we can start from the skeletons to the next level, one by one. Okay, but this answer can be different. Different people can have the different opinions, but the coding should be where the last answer. Okay, first give like a skeleton markup designs. Okay, and then we'll go for a requirement, understanding the requirement. Okay. So what are the execution modes in the Visual Studio? Visual Studio, you have the two modes. One is the debug mode and release mode. Developer will develop an application that is called a debug mode. Once this, in this debugging time, you can debug the code, right? The PDB files will be generated. Okay, PDB files for a debugging purpose. Next, release mode in the sense it is the optimized code. It should not generate the debugging PDB files. So deployment process in Azure, maybe can't able to answer in one session. It's required at least an hour. Okay. I think this question from Vignesh or deployment process in from whom?
Yeah, Krishna. I
From
asked.
whom? Okay. Same like this one, I will come up with the one complete architecture. For example, deployment process in Azure. So Azure is nothing but, for example, anybody planning the Azure, right? Azure development, Azure deployment, Azure infrastructure, Azure networking, so many different things are there. Azure means nowadays you are having the once you are checking the code, GitHub actions are there. GitHub actions means it will be compile your code. The compiled code will go to converted as image go to your Azure or AWS. Okay, containers from their container, the process will be different. That is one story. Second story is once you are deploying, right? In the GitHub, we are having the hook. Hook means it will be send a request to your Azure. Where code was ready, you can start building. Then code will build the. It will take the Dockers. In the Dockers, it is going to be build the image, and it will go to the Kubernetes. Jenkins, according to the different process. In between, we can integrate the Sonar Cube also. Okay, maybe we'll plan some session later. So how was the session, team? This hope 1 hour session helpful a lot or?
Yes, sir. Months. Right.
సార్ ఒక క్వశ్చన్
Yeah, Ramya.
సార్ మాది డొమైన్ డ్రివెన్ డిజైన్ అనేది చెప్తాను సార్ నేను ప్రాజెక్ట్ అది.
Hmm.
కానీ నేను రిపోజిటరీ ప్యాటర్న్ కొంచెం ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేసినాం, యూనిట్ ఆఫ్ వరకు కొంచెం ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేసినాం, ఆ తర్వాత డాపర్ యూజ్ చేసినాము, ఆ తర్వాత ఎటిటి ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్ యూజ్ చేసినాము. అంటే ఒక ప్రాజెక్ట్ లో ఒక్కటే ఉండదు కదా సార్.
A project should not have the one item; it may have the multiple.
అప్పుడు మేము చెప్పడం కూడా తప్పే కదా సార్. అంటే చెప్తున్నాను ఇప్పుడు రిపోజిటరీ ప్యాటర్న్ అని చెప్పలేను ప్రాజెక్ట్ ని.
In one project, multiple memories will work, right? Multiple people means, for example, some people in one service, not a microservice, one service, they're thinking like a Docker can be the best rather than entity frame or something else. So opinions can change. Okay, but you can able to tell this one. Then only other persons will understand. Okay, you are using a project. You are targeting to your project. Whatever you are having, tell it. No issue. So you can simply tell like our project is a big project. We're having the different type of the solutions, but you should answer that why. For example, you are telling like repository pattern means why the repository pattern? Definitely database means it should have that repository pattern. Second one is why Docker? Why not something else? So those questions also you just have the answers.
Okay.
So remember, having answer is not about to answer a question. It is about to showing your experience in that project to that interview. Why really they are taking. So how to know that ones? Maybe you can connect with your seniors. Or now we are having creating a platform, right? You can post in a group or something. Get it. But don't depend on Insta videos or something else. Everybody in Insta means everybody targeting for a views or something else. Okay.
సార్ నాకు ఒక డౌట్.
Yeah. Shankar.
సార్ యాక్చువల్గా నేను ఇంటర్వ్యూస్కి అటెండ్ అవుతున్నాను సార్. నా డ్రాబ్యాక్ ఎక్కడంటే యాంగులర్ లో వస్తుంది సార్. యాంగులర్ నేర్చుకోవడానికి అంటే ఏమైనా ఎక్కడైనా మంచి సోర్స్ ఏమైనా ఉన్నారు?
If you're interested to the React, I can...
React also interested, sir.
Yeah.
Interview
I
దగ్గర
mean, why am I
mainly
saying the
front
React,
end.
right? Nowadays, I feel like .NET plus Angular 7 openings, .NET plus React 9 openings. That is what I'm just hearing.
Okay. Okay, sir.